So I'm going to talk to you today about something really important, which is blocks to success. And success blocks, you probably think I'm talking about your career, your blocks to promotion, your blocks to having your own business, to doing a startup. But really, success encompasses everything. Your success as a parent, your success as a partner, your success as a colleague, your success as a friend. So I'm going to tell you lots of stuff and help you to get rid of any of your blocks. Here's the truth. When you're a little baby in the womb, most babies feel lovable. There are a few exceptions, but very, very minor. So when you're in the womb, everything you need is there. You get food 24 hours a day. Whenever you want to eat, it's there. It's always 75 degrees. You have room service. There's a person there that you're connected to. So in the womb, babies have an interesting belief, which is everything I want, I can have. And so when a baby is born, it has the same belief. No baby ever goes, you know what, my mum is so tired. I shouldn't really cry tonight and wake up. Well, you know what, my mum spent ages bleaching this little T-shirt and I shouldn't throw up this broccoli, that organic broccoli that just spent ages pureeing for me. Babies have this belief. I don't have to have what I don't want and I can have everything that I do. And if I want attention, I'll cry for it in the middle of the night. If I want to be fed, I'll cry for that. If I want something, I can have it. It's actually very good news to recognize that you were born with a belief that said, I can have whatever I want. Because what I'm going to help you to do today is to reactivate, remanifest, regenerate, and recreate what you were already born with. Since you were already born with it, recreating it is going to be easy. So you're born knowing you can have everything. And babies just don't have this belief they can't have what they want. If you ever watch a child trying to reach for something, they don't go, oh, it's out of reach. They try and try and try. They fall over a lot when they're trying to get up, but they are wired to make it. The first time they try to eat, they get food in their hair, in their eye, in their ear, none in their mouth. But they never say, you know what, I just can't do this eating stuff. I need to be fed. But very early on, certainly before the age of 3, and definitely before the age of 7, things happen to us that make us start to believe, oh, I can't have that. You know, I was in a store not long ago and I heard a mother say to her child who was about 5, you can have some chocolate. Go and pick whatever you want. And the kid came back with this huge box of chocolates. The mother went, who do you think you are? We can't afford that. You're so greedy. I can't stand how greedy you are. Look at you. You picked the most expensive thing in the shop. You're just greedy. That's outrageous. Now you're not having anything. And I remember thinking, isn't that funny? Because she said to her kid, go and have whatever you want. And he didn't understand that he was being greedy. And many of my clients tell me these stories that on Christmas Day, they started to cry because their brother got a bike and they got a doll's house and they wanted a bike. And the parents who spent so much money getting the doll's house kind of lost the plot and went, you're greedy. This is disgusting. Look at you. You're so jealous of other people. I don't like greed. You're not going to have anything now. And on my course this week, one of our grads was saying that everything that I want, his parents would go, I want, doesn't get. If you ask for anything, you get nothing. And we don't always have parents that are mean. Sometimes they're very, very well-meaning, but they say things like, well, no one in our family's ever been to college. You're never going to make it without a university degree. We're not that kind of people. You know, all the things we believed about success have been smashed out of the ballpark. Here's a belief that isn't true anymore. If you get a job, you're set for life. Years ago, if you went to work for Decca or Sony or Polydor pressing records, you were set for life. No more. Having a job for life is not quite what it was because we realized the way to make massive income is to work for ourselves. Getting a publishing deal used to be the best way to make money. I'm an author. I've had 4 books published and I published 2 myself because many people now say, you know what, there's actually more money in self-publishing. You get to keep all the profit as long as you're smart enough and have the wherewithal to do all this promotion to get a book to sell. Here's another belief. If you go to university, your future is guaranteed. That isn't true anymore. I know many people with a college degree who can't find work. And I've also met people who are brought up in rural India and Nigeria with no education, who managed to teach themselves on a laptop and have gone on to have a phenomenal business, an incredible business. And so the success blocks are nothing to do with your education or your background or your status. They used to be, but they're certainly not anymore. And the world has changed very, very fast. And there is a glass ceiling, and it's in here. The glass ceiling for men and women is in your mind. When you believe, I can't do that, that's out of my reach, I'm not educated, I don't have a degree, I'm never going to be able to make that, then other people will pick up that fear. And so I'm going to help you today recognize that if you want success, if you want financial success, business success, having your own business, relationship success, if you want love success, health success, whatever success you want, there's one thing you must have, and it is not a degree. It's not a degree at all. It's a belief that you are worth it. Belief without talent can do more for you than talent without belief. You can have success, but if you want success, you must believe you are worth it. You cannot go and ask for a pay rise or a promotion or try to get crowdfunding if you don't think you're worth it. I worked on many, many shows, the equivalent of like an X Factor, where people come in to be auditioned for a job. And if they have this, you don't really want me, I'm not really good enough, it kind of seeps out of their pores. If they come in with a look, I've got something amazing to offer the world, then we sit up and go, oh, I can't wait to hear what it is. You have something that you're meant to do. And all you have to do, I promise you, is find out what you're meant to do and monetize it. And what you're meant to do will always lie behind, be connected to what you love to do at the age of 7 and 14. When I was 7, I was always writing little stories, and my mother kept them, and they were always about children who didn't have love, which is kind of interesting because I became a therapist and a writer and I have books published. But all my childhood between 7 and 14, I was writing, drawing little pictures to go with these books. Now I'm a writer. My daughter was always making clothes, even out of Kleenex, with these little tiny dolls that she had. She'd make little costumes and clothes, and now she has her own fashion line. I worked with someone else who said I was always doing puzzles as a kid, and now I'm a strategist. Jo Malone, the very famous perfumer, was always just going in her garden, picking little flowers and trying to make perfume from them. I know someone else who's a very famous chef, and that's all they did. They loved to cook. So what did you love to do at the age of 7 and 14? That is a key to your skill set, to your area of excellence, to what you must monetize. And if you're not sure, ask people that you grew up with. What did I love doing? Any block you have to success, any money block, any wealth block, any health block, any love block, even any sex block, comes from this belief that I'm not worth it, I don't deserve it, other people can get this, but I can't get it. It's too hard. The price I have to pay is too high. 70% of lottery winners who haven't had money and win the lottery will be broke within 3 years. That's an extraordinarily high figure, but it's very predictable. Human behavior is very, very predictable. It's predicted by what you believe. You know, Sean Connery, who grew up in poverty, had a picture of a gold Rolls Royce at the end of his bed. He said, I'm going to have that car. I will make it. And it's just as easy to say that as to look at a Rolls Royce and go, no, I'll never get one of those. The likes of us, we don't get to have Rolls Royces. You know, I'm living on welfare here. How is that ever going to happen? Once upon a time, you had to know your place, know your class. Maybe that's more so in Europe. But that just doesn't exist. The glass ceiling does not exist for men, for women, for anybody. So think about what you want. Think about right now, what do you want? What is it that you really, really, really want? And then think about what you'd have to do to get one. Maybe it's more money. You see, if you guys just want to be a millionaire, that won't work unless you think about what would I have to do to become a millionaire? And then I want you to think about who would benefit from you being a millionaire. You see, the more people who will benefit, the more reasons you have to be a millionaire, the more likely you are to make it. Why would I write a book? Who would read that book? What would benefit me from writing a book? And who else would benefit if I wrote a book? J.K. Rowling, who was a single mother and really living on the breadline. But when she wrote Harry Potter and became enormously wealthy, it didn't just benefit her. She has donated money timelessly to single parent charities. And we have many people who come and train with us in our TT, and they say the same thing. Don't I need a degree in psychology to train with you? Shouldn't I be or have some kind of background in therapy? Surely I can't turn up on your course. And we've had 2 cleaners who turned up on our course. One of them didn't tell anyone she was a cleaner, and there's no shame in that at all. In fact, it was a very smart job. She was a single parent with 2 kids, needed to work school hours, and it was the only way she could do that. But when you're cleaning, it's kind of what I call sweat labor. You work X hours, you get paid by the hour. You can never really make more than your hourly rate unless you work more hours and then don't have enough time to be with your children. Anyway, she came on our course. She did incredibly well. She's one of our most successful therapists. And then someone else wrote to me and said, I'm a cleaner, and I listen to people tell me their problems all day. And I thought, I'm going to go on Marisa's course. And I could only afford the online course. And then I did it. And then I worked with this client, and she gave me first class tickets to Florida for all my family. So I changed her life. So we have had beauticians and beauty therapists, massage therapists, hairdressers, police officers, firemen, pilots, airline crew who've come on our course with no background in therapy at all and gone on to make an amazing career. One of them wrote to me and said, you know what? I did this for me, but I'm doing so well that both my kids are in private school. I never even thought that would happen. So please don't let yourself believe that if you haven't had a university education, a private education, one of the very fortunate educations, that you can't make it. You can. Look at Oprah Winfrey, look at Tony Robbins. They didn't have university degrees, and look where they are now because they didn't have success blocks. They thought, no, why are you telling yourself stuff that holds you back when you could tell yourself stuff that makes you soar? Somebody wrote to me this week and said, I was listening to your talk and I realized, because I draw for a living, I'm always saying I've got to draw faster, I've got to draw faster. And when I listened to you, I thought, no, I should be saying, I draw really fast and I'm amazing. And I said, yes, because when you're any kind of artist, you have a choice. You can use your thoughts to limit yourself, or you can use your thoughts to soar. Use your thoughts to move towards success instead of using your thoughts to move away from it. And many of you, without knowing it, are using your thoughts to move towards success instead of away from it. If you want something, the only thing that can hold you back is your own limiting beliefs, but you can choose to knock them out of your life.
Check out my next video here.